Good morning, class! Today, I will be demonstrating on how to prepare and produce a bakery products, particularly a soft product. Today, before we start our lesson, we should put in our mind the word mise en place. When we say mise en place, it's a French term which means set in place, meaning we need to prepare everything first before we proceed on our performance task. The first thing that we need to prepare are the tools and materials, such as we have mixing bowl, a whisk, measuring cups and spoon. We also have a dough cutter and flat sheet. Moreover, as part of our mise en place, we need to prepare our ingredients, such as we have here flour, a sifted flour, a sugar for our sweeteners, a lard as a shortening, and our yeast as a leaveners. We also have water and a milk to add moisture to our baked products. Furthermore, we need to wear our PPE. PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment, which we need to wear our aprons for our protection to our clothes, and we need also to wear our chef's hat. Here. Make sure to tighten the chef's hats or a hairnet so that your hair will not fall to the baked products. I guess we are all ready, so let's get started. Always bear in mind to first prepare all your mise en place. To begin with, let's check the yeast if it's alive or not through the process called blooming. How to do blooming? Now we measured 1 tablespoon of instant dry yeast. Here, put it in your mixing bowl. Add some water, 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of milk, and the food for the yeast is our sugar. Then stir for a moment with the use of our whisk. And there should be a reaction to our yeast regarding on the blooming process of the yeast. So let's see if the yeast is alive or not. After 5 minutes, there should be a reaction to the yeast regarding on our blooming process. Next, let's mix all the dry and liquid ingredients such as our all-purpose flour, or you can use also a bread flour. Next, don't forget our shortening. The shortening that we are going to use today is lard. Always remember that lard is made from pig's oil. Don't throw away your packaging in your larder because you're going to use this later on for the reducing process. So let's set aside. Also, let's put some protein into our baked products. And the protein source that we're going to use today is an egg. So put 1 teaspoon egg. Now, after we mix all the ingredients, we're going to knead them. First, we should mix them. And just a reminder, okay, students, before handling all foods, always remember to clean and sanitize your hands. Okay? So we're going to mix all the mixtures until we create a dough mixture. Meaning, when you say dough mixture, we should incorporate all the ingredients in our mixing bowl. If the dough is wet, just put flour on your table. Always perform dusting so that your dough will not stick on your table. The stretching, grounding, stretching, up until the dough will develop its gluten and ready for fermentation. Now let's go on the kneading process. The first two are stretching and cramping. The third kneading process that we need to understand is the so-called punching. How to do punching? Let your dough on your table, then using the knuckles of your hand, you punch your dough. This will help easily develop the gluten in our dough mixture. Additionally, you need also to perform the so-called throwing process. How to do throwing? Flatten your dough on your table, then throw your dough on the table just like this. Then repeat the 4 kneading process. The stretching method, the cramping, the punching, and the so-called. After a thorough kneading, we're going to check the dough is ready for fermentation. The first check method to our dough is the so-called the poke method or the poke test method. How to do the poke test method? Using your pointing finger, just poke your dough, and if it's returned to its proper position, then your dough is ready for fermentation. Another way is the so-called window pane test. How to do window pane? Just get a small portion amount of your dough, then stretch your dough. If it's not going to break, then your dough is already good for fermentation. I think we already performed the best thing that we can do in kneading process of our dough. So it is now ready for the fermentation. Here. Next, we're going to ferment or proof our dough. Now, how to perform proofing? Using your excess lard. A while ago, just put lard on your mixing bowl so that your dough will not stick onto it. Then, put your dough on your mixing bowl. Then, cover it with your flat sheet. You need to wait for more than 30 minutes to proof or ferment your dough so that it will rise. Okay, so stay tuned. At this point, let's check if the dough doubled its size. 1, 2, 3, let's open. Wow, so look, our dough has fermented nicely. So after the fermentation process, the next process that we need to perform is a punching down. So using your hands, you're going to deflate your dough, just like this. You're not going to need any more, but you're going to remove only the air on the dough. Afterwards, we're going now to divide our dough. So using our dough cutter, we're going to divide them into 12 pieces. So cut it half, cut it half again, make it 4 pieces, and this piece should be divided into 3. Basically, each piece contains approximately 40 to 50 grams. So after cutting your dough, the next thing that we need to do is to shape our dough. So by shaping, you need to move a circular motion for the dough to make it a circle shape. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and last one, 12. So, after shaping our dough, let's put shortening again in our pan. Or we're going to grease our pan again so that when we put our dough here on the flat sheet, it will not stick. And if it's baked already, you can easily remove the breads on the flat sheet or on our pan. So just arrange it here. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. At this point, we're going to perform the second proofing or second rising on our dough. So we are going to rest again our dough to let it rise for the second time around. So let's wait for another 10 minutes to let the dough rise, and after that we're going to bake in our oven. Okay?